Hi guys, it's Diane with Southern City Girl. Let me get my thing situated here. How you guys doing this morning? I'm doing okay. It's kind of cloudy outside, which I really like it like that. We've had some good rain and it's been good here. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to make some dressing to go with our dinner tonight. And some of you call it stuffing. And what I did was I made some cornbread and I cut it up in just big old chunks. Well, I didn't cut it up, I kind of just tore it up with my hands. And I've been letting it dry for several days just to make sure it's dry and all the moisture out of it. This is what I'm going to be using. This is 1 pan of cornbread, just nothing but cornmeal. It's not any flour in there, there's no sugar in there, straight cornmeal. Okay. So what I do is I put onion and I put celery in mine, and I put a lot of onion and I put a lot of celery in it. It does cook down into the butter. The butter that I'm going to be using in the pan, and I'll take you over to the stove when I'm through cutting all this up. But let me bring my camera down so you can see better what I'm going to be doing. Okay, there's my celery and my onions. Okay, that way you can watch me cut it up. And right here I have some leftover onion that I used the other day, so we're going to use this first because I don't like to waste stuff. And I don't know if any of you remember me telling you that if you take tin foil and you have some onion left over, whether it's chopped up or this, mainly, this is really better. Chopped up kind of gets all loose in here. But take a piece of tin foil, put your onion down in here like this, and if you cover it really tightly on the top with your tin foil, you can put it in your refrigerator just like this and you will not get the smell of the onion in your refrigerator. Just try it. Okay. Okay, so we're going to first chop up this first onion. And now keep in mind when I'm doing this, I'm using a lot. It does shrink down, but I like a lot of onion and a lot of celery in my dressing. Now some people call it stuffing. I call it both. I don't know, just whatever comes out of my mouth is what I call it. But a lot of times stuffing is referred to as stuffing your turkey. Dressing is just making dressing without the stuffing of your turkey. So you can tell me how you guys say it, why you say dressing, why you say stuffing. I'd be interested to know because everybody has a little different opinions on that. Okay, so I'm just basically, let me show you this right here. Basically, I'm just going to cut up the onions just kind of like in little cubes, and they'll all fall apart while they're cooking in the pan. Okay. And if you also remember in some of my videos that I talk about is I'm really a frugal person. I don't like to waste anything. So when I get down to the core of my onions, I use as much as I can. And I save these little end pieces right here. The reason I save them is I save them for my chicken bone broth or my beef bone broth, whichever I'm going to make, because it really helps add the flavor to it. Okay, that is definitely not enough onions, so we're going to take this big one right here. Okay, the way I like to cut my onions, everybody does it different. Some people cut this end off where the root is right here, and some people cut that end off. The way I like to do mine is I cut it in half, but I leave the root intact on the end. So you can see the root is on that end and the root is on that end. I do not cut this off. Leave it on. But you don't have to do it the way I do it. You can do it your way. You know, we all have ways of doing different things that that is easier for us to do. And by all means, do it, guys. This is just the way I'm showing you how I do it. I find that it's a little bit easier. There goes my knife. I'm going to have to get me a different knife now. I like that little white knife. I don't know. I like to use paring knives. Excuse me a minute, guys. Okay. This knife is really good too. I got this knife at the 99-cent only store in California. They don't have any of those out here. And I was told that if the blade goes all the way down through the handle, it's really a good knife. They were 99 cents only before, but they went up. When they went up on this knife. And I have never been able to find one again like this. I paid $2.99 for it. It is excellent. Very good. Okay. So what I do with my onion, let me bring you guys a little bit closer here. Maybe you can see a little bit better here. You can't see me, but that's just fine and dandy. Okay. So I take and I cut it down here like this. Now mind you, there's the root right here. I do not go through the root. See, it's keeping everything right here intact. Nothing's falling off, okay? So I just cut it, slice it all the way down. And when you get to the end here, there is no root at all to hold this little piece on right here, but we can work with that. Now, you're going to do 3 slices through the onion this way. Now I hold on to the top. Be very careful not to go all the way through the root. Excuse me, that was only, see, 2 slices. I guess it depends on how big your onion is. 1, 2, no, there will be 3 because I'm going to do another one right up here. So that's 3. Okay, now, see, the only thing that has fallen off is this little end piece right here because it was not attached to the roof. Well, this one too. Okay, but most of these pieces are on. So all I have to do, okay, is just down and slice it like this. I mean, this is so easy, guys. So easy. Now, if you have a chopper, that would be even easier than this. I have a chopper, but I prefer not to use it because I have to get it out and then I have to put it together and plug it in, and nah, that's alright. I'll just do this. Okay, so here you go again. I am keeping the core of my onion for my beef bone broth. Okay, we'll see how much onion we got. Put it in my bowl. Okay. And right now I'm filming this, I don't know when it'll be aired, but I'm filming this in the fall, in October. And guys, Thanksgiving is next month, so I thought I'd just try to show you how I make my dressing. You can even use this dressing to stuff it in your turkey if you want. I don't like stuffing the turkey because all of the liquid and the broth from the turkey soaks into the dressing. I don't like that. I like to use my turkey broth and all that to make some good soups or gravies or whatever I'm going to use it for. Okay, so I have a big bowl. Well, it's not really a cereal bowl. Isn't that pretty? Look at this, guys. I got these bowls at Dollar Tree for $1. I just love them. Their fall colors are beautiful. Aren't they pretty? Okay, so I have this bowl filled with onions, and I don't know, I might need more, but right now we're gonna leave it at that. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now, let me go over and wash my celery. I got 4 stalks of celery. Okay, I should have had that washed before, but I didn't, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So I washed my celery and I'm going to dry it just a little bit here. Just so there's not a lot of water in here because I'm going to put it in hot butter. And I don't want to get too much splattering on me. Or anywhere else. So we're going to get most of this liquid off of here. I'm just drying it with a paper towel. Wipe off my board here. Okay. Okay, I want to cut off the ends. And again, these ends, don't throw them away. If you make beef bone broth, these are really good. So I'm going to keep these for my beef or chicken bone broth. Get you over here a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice the celery down the middle like this. And then I'm going to slice it like this. And I'm going to have cubes like I did the onion. And I got 4 long stalks of celery. You do not have to use as much celery and onion as I do. I love the flavor that it gives, and that's why I use it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do the other 2. I like to bite into big chunks of vegetables in my stuffing or my dressing. I'm not a potato salad person, but my daughter-in-law makes potato salad, and she makes it with big chunks of vegetables. My daughter-in-law, Tanya. And I like the big chunks of onions and the big chunks of celery and the olives that she puts in there. It's probably really why I only eat it, because I eat that stuff. Okay. Okay, so I got a full bowl of celery. I think I'm going to add 1 more stalk of celery, you guys. So let me get 1 more stalk of celery off of here. Now I go wash it. Okay, let me dry it off. So instead of 4, I got 5 stalks of celery now. I think every time I do this recipe it changes. Save your ends. It depends on how much cornbread I've made and how much dressing I'm going to make is how much vegetables I put in it. Okay. I think that'll be enough. So that is 5 long stalks of celery. And a half of a large onion and a half of a small onion is what I use for my onions. So, yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, guys, so we're going to go over to the stove, and I'm going to show you how I make this. Okay, guys, I'm over at my little tiny stove. I had to open up my microwave door so I could fit it. I showed you my little stove before. It's really hard to put everything in the corner here, but we manage, and you know, you use and do what you can do with what you have, right? Well, that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to bring you down here so you can see my skillet, and I can show you what I've done. Let me turn this light on so I have more light. Okay, what I've done is I've put 2 cubes of butter in here. It looks like a lot of butter, but it's not. I'm going to turn my stove on. I'm going to turn it, now this is a propane stove, so I'm going to turn it on number 7 right now. Propane stoves take a little bit longer to cook than a gas stove, I found out. So sometimes you have to cook it more. Okay, this is the onions that we chopped up. I'm going to add it in with my butter in the pan. And here's the celery. Now it looks like a lot, but remember, this stuff shrinks down. I'm just going to mix it all in with this butter. We're going to let it cook till it gets nice and soft. We don't want to burn it. We just want it to get nice and soft. So after it gets nice and soft, we'll come back and I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do. Okay guys, as you can see here that they're getting softer. And if go around inside your skillet and make sure there's no big chunks of onions that haven't separated, like that one. Now these are still, the celery's still a little crunchy, the onion's a little softer, but keep in mind this is going to cook. I'm going to cook this dressing in the oven, my convection oven, and the vegetables are going to get softer even as they cook. Now, my next step that I take is, I told you in another video, I showed you different things that I use in cooking and things I bought. This is one of the things that I bought. In my jar here, I have some spike, and this is salt-free spike. I'm telling you what guys, this stuff is fabulous. It has everything you need in. I use this for my chicken and dumplings. I use this for my dressing. You do not need to add any salt, because I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I don't add pepper to it. This has so many different seasonings on it. You can look on the back of the box and find out. A lot of them. Poultry seasoning and sage and all kinds of stuff. So, right now I'm going to start off with, this is salt free. I do put some of the salt in it. I'll show you the other salt spike that I use. There's 2. We'll leave it at that for right now. And this is the spike that has the salt in it. Okay. So, you can see there's just a little bit difference in this, not a whole lot. So I'm going to start out putting 1 heaping tablespoon of my salt spike seasoning in here. Because I don't want it to be too salty, and I can always add more if I want to add more. So right now I'm going to turn my fire down, and I'm going to mix all this together in with my onions and my celery. See, right here I'm going to mix all that in with this. And my butter. Now remember there was 2 sticks of butter in there, and yes, it did look like a lot of butter, but keep in mind that some of the vegetables are soaking up the butter. And also, when I put the cornbread in, it's going to soak up all of that butter, and I will also have to probably add a little bit of broth. Okay, we're going to leave it like that, because that looks like a lot of seasoning. I'm not going to taste it now because it's not going to give me an accurate taste without the cornbread mixed in here. So I'm going to get my cornbread. Now there are big chunks of cornbread in here. Remember I showed you earlier? We're just going to put all of this cornbread. This is just like 1 pan of cornbread. I'll have a video on how to make that. Okay. Now as the cornbread starts getting soft, you can break up some of these big old chunks if you want to, or you can leave them like this. It depends. Some people like them chunky and some people like it mushy, dry, you know, I myself do not like mushy dressing. I do not put eggs in it. I just put my seasonings, spike seasoning, my celery, my onion, lots of butter, and some broth. I usually use my homemade chicken bone broth that I make, but I've used all of it up in making some other stuff. So I'll show you what I did, or a substitute for that. And you can use any kind of broth. You can buy the broth that's in the can in the store. You can buy the broth that's in the carton, or you can buy the, I would not use, let me show you what I got over here, depending on what I'm using. But in this dressing, I would not use any type of bouillon cube like this in here, because this stuff is really, really salty. And by me using the salt spike, it might make it too salty. Now, if you're going to go ahead and just use regular salt and your own seasonings, by all means, get a cubed bouillon cube and use that. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to use. Okay, I got my fire on low. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to turn it off right now. Okay. Now, I'm sure plenty of you have seen this Herb Ox sodium-free chicken broth. Chicken bouillon. I'll show you what it looks like. They have these little packets in here like this. And they're really nice if you don't want to add extra salt to your seasonings. They're very, very nice and very, very handy. So what I did is I took one packet of this, added it to 1 cup of hot water, and I mixed it together to where it was all blended together. So you got some chicken broth right there. And I'm going to add it slowly to my dressing because I don't want to add too much. Like I said, I do not like mushy dressing or stuffing. That's why like I said earlier, that's why I do not put it in my turkey, because all of the cornbread mixture soaks up all of the juices from the turkey, and it's good, but it's a little mushy for me. And also I like to use my turkey broth for gravy and for soups, because I save the carcass of my turkey, which I can't cook a whole turkey anymore where I live. My oven and my convection oven is not big enough. And the turkey that I've been trying to find, excuse me, I usually get a butterball bone-in breast turkey, and I usually either cook it in my Instapot or I cook it in my convection oven, which however I feel that day. And I take the meat off of there, slice it up, but I haven't been able to find those. So I'll show you what I'm going to be using to go with our dressing for our dinner tonight. Okay, I'm going to break up a few of these big cornbread pieces. Like, see this one? To me, that's like a crouton. I don't want croutons in my dressing. I don't know, if you like it like that, guys, go ahead, go for it. You know, we're all different. We all like things different. This is just how I make mine. And you can see the big chunks of celery. You might not like the big chunks of celery. You might want to put eggs in here to make it a little bit more juicy. It's up to you. Make it how you want to make it. This is just how I'm making it, and I'm sharing it with you guys. Okay, I think I'm going to put the rest of this. Okay, that was just 1 packet of the Herb Ox sodium-free chicken bouillon. It comes in little packets. See, it's getting wet, and it's even going to get wetter as it cooks a little bit. I'm going to put tin foil on this really, really tight. And if, you know, guys, if you get it to where it comes out of the oven and it's too dry, add a little bit more broth. Just add a little bit at a time because you don't want to get it too gooey. Well, maybe you like gooey stuff. Put it, you know, put however much you want in. I don't like gooey cornbread. Okay, it looks like I've done pretty good with mixing all this together, and I'm going to cook it right in my skillet. And I'm going to cook it on my convection oven. I'm going to cook it on 400 degrees. Normally in a regular oven, you would use probably 300 degrees. I would say for about an hour, but check it. It might take a little longer or less, depending on your stove. Every stove is different. But I'm going to use my convection oven, and using this convection oven in my RV here, I have learned that I need to go about 50 degrees higher. Depending on what I make it, I can even go a little bit higher. Okay. So, pretty much, this is it. Like I said, I like the big chunks of vegetables in it. Now, if I need to add some more liquid, I will. We'll check it about halfway through. And we'll see how it does. So let me get some tin foil. You guys, I've had this tin foil right here for a very long time. Tin foil is getting so expensive. Well, everything's getting expensive. For this one, I'm going to use this heavy duty Reynolds wrap. But what I've been using lately, let me see if I got one up here. Yeah. What I've been using lately are these Reynolds wraps foil sheets. Can you see that? And I've been buying them at the dollar store. The Dollar Tree, excuse me, which they are going to go up. Did you guys hear that? They're going to go up in their prices. Anyway, go and get you some stuff now, guys, before they go up. This is $1 for 25 sheets. These are really, really nice. They come in so handy. But those are kind of thin, and I don't want to use it to cover my skillet with. I want heavy duty. Okay, I'm gonna get 2 sheets. I'm gonna get 2 sheets of tin foil. This isn't big enough. I'm gonna use heavy duty because I want to try to keep as much moisture in here as I can. It's very, very. Ouch! This pan's hot. Be careful, guys, if you're gonna do this. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna get one more sheet of this. I don't need a big one. I'm gonna turn it like that. Okay. And I'm gonna turn this under here. Maybe not, maybe I'll turn it up the other way. Okay. Try to make sure it's as tight as you can. If you have a lid, guys, it'd be even better. I don't have a lid to fit my. Well, yes, I do, but the handle, the top part of the lid, I'm not sure if it would go in the oven or not. I've never tried it. Okay, there you go. So, we're going to take now I use my rack right here, and I put it in my convection oven because it gives it circulation to go underneath. Now, I cannot have my turntable on my convection oven. Okay, let me bring it up here. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Okay. All right. Now, I cannot have my turntable on my convection oven when I'm cooking with my iron skillet in there because it's too big, too wide. So I'm going to turn my convection oven on 400. I'm going to start it. We're going to go 30 minutes to start with. I'm going to turn my turntable off. Okay. The reason I'm only doing 30 minutes right now is because I want to check it in the halfway cooking point to see if I need to add some more broth. So, 30 minutes, when that's done, I'll come back, but in the meantime, I will show you what I'm going to do with my turkey. Okay guys, here's my turkey that I'm going to use. Now, I told you that I usually use, I think it's Butterball. I said Butterball earlier. It's either Butterball or Foster Farms. I think it's Butterball. The bone-in turkey breast for my turkey, because I cannot use a whole turkey and my convection oven will not fit. It will not fit in my little oven. So that's what I do, and it's just the breast of a small turkey, and it works out really good, but I haven't been able to find those. I went to the store and asked them, and they said they haven't been able to get them lately. So what I've done, I've gone to the deli of the Safeway here, and I bought this turkey. Let's see. It's not cheap, guys, but this is, it's good. It's really good, and I don't do this very often. But I have them slice it. I'll show you when I get it out. About maybe almost an inch. But right here, this is from the deli, and it's called turkey breast roasted. This is roasted turkey breast. Can you see that? Okay, I'm going to show you how much I bought. Look at the price of that. Actually, for what I bought, you know, with it already cooked, you know, guys, we spend more money with the food that is already cooked. We know that. I don't like doing that all the time, but for convenience sake, I do it sometimes because it depends on how I feel that day, what we're doing that day. That's what I do. So I've wrapped my turkey. It's frozen right now, so I'm going to have to thaw it out. And right here I have, let's see if you guys can see this. There's one, okay, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I forgot to take it out of the freezer earlier. That's why it's thawed out. This is 5 nice sized pieces of roasted turkey. This stuff is some of the best already cooked turkey I've ever had. It's so moist and so good. And I will go sometimes and I'll have it slice it for sandwiches really thin. It is very, very, very good. In the deli section of the Safeway is where I got it. So you can try Vaughn's or Albertsons because they are all sisters. So when this thaws out, I'm going to put it in my dish right here. I have a little dish. Depends on how much you have is what size you use. But I got a nice lid that goes with it. And I have another one. Let's see what we got in here. Remember, I forgot to take these out of the freezer. Now, a long time ago, we're going to check this out right here. See, it's in the tin foil. It's the same thing I just showed you, but it's different package. A long time ago, I think my daughter-in-law told me this. Let's see if I did it this way. So she learned this when she was working in the meat department. And that if you wrap your meat, yeah, I did do it. Okay, let me show you. If you wrap, oh, it looks like it did really good. If you wrap your meat first with saran wrap, okay? I got saran wrap all around here. And we'll take that off. Okay? But if you wrap it with saran wrap, and then if you put tin foil on it, and you can put it in a paper bag if you want to. I just did this right here. And it's not supposed to have, okay. The reason I did this is because it's not supposed to freezer burn. It shouldn't have all the ice on it. So we're going to open it all up. I think it worked. We're going to check it out. Okay, we do have some ice on here. See right there? Well, that's not too bad, guys. Okay, now this, let's see how much this one cost me. Oh, okay, I don't have the label of this one, but I've got 1, 2, 3, I got 4 pieces on this one too. So all together I'm going to have, these are big pieces compared to these, see? So we'll have leftovers for sandwiches or whatever. I'm going to have I'm going to have 5 small slices in this one. And I'm going to have 4 large slices in this one. So all I'm going to do with this, guys, all I'm going to do is thaw these out. I'm going to put me a little bit of chicken broth in the bottom of my pan. Not a whole lot, but a little bit to give it some water to help keep it moisturized while it, to keep it moist while I cook it in the oven. And I'm just going to put it in my little pan, put a little bit of chicken broth in there, and I'm going to cook it till it gets nice and warm. And we're going to eat this with our dressing tonight for dinner. And I'm not really sure what kind of vegetable we're going to use, but we'll let you know later, okay? So when I get the dressing done and I get my turkey done, I will come back and I will show you how it turned out. Okay, guys, bye. See you in a little bit.